What does a burger and an electric plane have in common? Propane. All right, burgers and electric plane. Propane is one of the things that we said that they have in common. What we're doing here is we're going to use this dual fuel generator to start up and to charge the electric plane that's right behind me. Things that we need to be aware of. We need to make sure that we can get the same level of electricity out, 50 amps. And here is the charger for the electric plane. It's a unique piece of gear, only designed just for this particular plane. What we'll do is start the generator up, plug the charger into the generator, make sure that we're getting clean 50 amp out, select 50 amp on the charger, and then we'll plug it into the aircraft. In the electric, very simple plane. We only have 4 major switches that we need to worry about when we bring them on. So you'll bring on the master switch first. It's gonna go through some boot up, some checks here and here, and then we also have that display. That noise is a haptic stall warning. It's just testing. So now we can see that we have a full charge, 99%. Bring on our avionics. And at this point, we don't have the electric motor. We have everything powering up except for the electric motor. Once we bring on these last 2 switches, the motor is then connected to the battery. So we'll bring on this. And now we clear prop and we bring on the last switch. At this point, the airplane, if I were to come up on the power control lever, the airplane would continue to start moving. All right, let's talk instruments for a second, since we have it powered up. This instrument indicator is the airspeed indicator. This tells us how fast the aircraft is moving through the air once we start moving it either on the ground or once we're flying. This indicator is called the attitude indicator. It gives us instantaneous orientation of the aircraft. What does all that mean? It means it tells us if the nose is up or down relative to the big horizon outside and whether or not we're turning left or right. Going across the top, this is called the altimeter. It tells us how high up we are in the air. Down in the bottom, this is our turn coordinator. It allows us to know whether or not we are making a very efficient turn when we go left and right, and if the aircraft is coordinated. Some of the power indications that we have, it's right here. It tells us how high up or how much in kilowatts power that the motor is putting out. So for takeoff, we have to run it all the way up. This max we can get is 65 kilowatts. And then once we're flying, we'll bring it down to 20 or so as we're just cruising along. Lastly is this indicator. It tells us our vertical speed, how fast or slow that we're climbing or descending. All right, so an electric plane is driven by a battery, and like all battery powered devices, there's going to be some indication of charge. On this particular page, we see that our state of charge is 99%, just like on your iPhone or any other device. Lets us know we have effectively a full charge. Also, it tells us an approximate number in minutes of flight time that we have. Also, this tells us how fast the propeller is turning, and this tells us how much, just like the other device explained, how much power the motor is putting out. Now, when I go to the second page on this display, we have something called state of health. This is the overall health of the batteries. So right now, we've been flying this plane for a couple years now, and we're about 50% through the health of the battery. And there's a couple other indications on this particular page. This also tells us cooling temperatures and allows us to really manage the motor and electrical system as we're flying out.
All right, here we go. All right, so again, finishing up what we talked about with respect to what does an electric plane and a burger have in common? And it's a propane. We use that propane to charge this plane up. But right now I'm taxiing over to runway 28 at Hampton Roads Executive. And we're going to be departing runway 28 for a quick little flight. And then, yeah, show you that the actually can fly off of propane being used to charge like we showed earlier. Hampton Roads Unicom 4, Romeo, radio check. All right, I got you the same thing. All right, now that we got that radio check done, we're going to turn around. Hampton Roads traffic, experimental 4, Romeo, depart for the ramp to runway 28, Hampton Roads. All right, looking on the downwind, everything is clear. We'll taxi out on the runway and depart. Hampton Roads traffic, experimental 4, Romeo, depart on runway 28, less closed traffic, Hampton Roads. A little bit of left to right crosswind, so we'll throw that stick over to the left leg. Looking for good power. Good power. Airborne, take the next notch of flaps out. We'll pitch for 75. That's going to be our best rate of climb.
Snoop, I'm gonna eat your burger. Yeah. You're missing out. I had a good burger.